Hi, this is Jerry Griakos. You are on 4CS317. Here's my experiment number 3, looping statements using shell scripting. It has 5 experiments: factorial, sum of a given series, Fibonacci, multiplication table, and the scientific calculator. So we'll take a look at the programs. So the first one is the multiplication table. Echo is the command that we use to print something on in the output. So we have used that to ask the user to input a number, and that particular value that the user entered is stored in the num variable using the read keyword. And we have also asked the user to enter a limit till where the multiplication table should go. And inside the for loop, we have for loop has three key conditions. One is to initialize the variable I. The second is to uh, set the condition of I, which is to be less than or equal to limit and I plus plus. So do and done is are two keywords in between which the conditions of the for loop has to be given. So we have a statement for calculating the sum of the multiplication table, that is calculating using the number that the user entered into the value of the I, and the particular result is stored in the variable sum, and it is printed using the keyword echo. So we'll run the program. So it says multiplication table and enter the number. So we'll enter 5 and we'll enter the limit to be 10. So we see that the multiplication table of 5 is 5 into 1 and follows till 10. So the next program, we'll take a look. Next program is to display the factorial of a number. So we ask the user to enter the number using the echo keyword, and then we have stored that particular value in the num variable using the read command. So we have set a variable sum is equal to 1, and inside the for loop we have set the value of the I to be num and I greater than or equal to greater than 0 and I minus minus. So inside the for loop, in between do and done, we have given the expression that sum is equal to sum into I. The particular expression is given by expr $sum slash into $I. So it multiplies the value of the for loop variable I into the particular number that the user has entered, and that particular value is summed up. It goes on the loop, and the resulting number is the factorial, and that we have printed that particular value. So we'll take a look at that. So it says factorial of a number and enter the number. So we'll enter 5 and we see that the factorial of 5 is 120, which is the correct answer. So the next one is to find the Fibonacci series. So we have asked the user to enter the limit, and we have read the particular value the user entered into the lim variable using the read command. We have set three variables f1, f2 and f3. f2 and f3 are set to 1 each, and f1 is equal to 0. We have printed the f1 and f2, 0 and 1, just using the print statement echo, and then inside the for loop, in between do and done keywords, we have set the we have added the value of f1 and f2, which are the first two variables, to get the third item, which is f3. F3 is the one that we are going to print. F1 then becomes f2, which is the second variable, and f2 becomes, which is currently the second one, becomes the third one. So the resulting statement will be the Fibonacci series for the limit entered by the user. So we'll print that. We'll take a look at the result. So it says Fibonacci, enter the limit. So we'll enter 6 as the limit, and we see that six items of the series of the Fibonacci series has been displayed. 0 plus 1 is equal to 1, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, 2 plus 1 is equal to 3, 3 plus 2 is equal to 5, which is correct. So we'll take a look at the next one. It is the sum of the series, 1 factorial plus 3 factorial plus 5 factorial. So here we have to find out if the number is odd first. So there we have read a limit from the user using a read command and lim variable. We have set two variables, num and sum. Num is equal to 1 and sum is equal to 0. Using the first for loop, which goes from 1 to the limit that the user have entered, we check if the number is odd. So here we see a is equal to I mod 2. So if that is the case, it means that if the result is not equal to 0, it means that it is an odd number. If that is the case, then we enter into the if loop using the keyword then, inside which we have another for loop which has a variable j, which goes from the I till it is greater than 0. It decrements. So each time it decrements, we find the factorial of that particular particular item in that series, just like that we found in the Fibonacci program. And then we get out of that loop and keep adding the sum of each factorial that we have found. And each time we do that, we set the num value as 1. We close the if loop using F5, and done is used to close the for loop, and we finally print the sum of the series. So we this says sum of series 1 factorial plus 3 factorial plus 5 factorial, enter the limit. So we'll enter the limit, and we see that the right answer has been displayed. It is 127. So we'll take a look at the next program. It is a scientific calculator. So first we have displayed all the functions that it will process using the print statements: add, subtract, multiply, divide, sine, cosine, square root, log, power, and exponents. So we have asked the user for a choice, and this choice has to be entered in the switch case statements. So that particular value is entered into the $ch, and case $ch in is the $ch is the option that the user chooses, and the rest is the syntax for the using switch case in shell programming. So one is the choice that the user makes here, uh, and 2, 3, 4 similarly are the choices of the user. So we ask the user for 2 inputs in the case of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We make the user enter 2 variables, and then we uh, using the expression sum is equal to expr $a plus $b. Similarly, $a minus $b and $a divided by $b, etc. For adding, subtraction, multiplication, and division, we perform the basic operations. The rest of the operations are sine, cosine, square root, log, uh, uh, log, power, and exponents. So for sine and cosine, we make the user enter the uh, so for tan, cosine, sine, and log, we make the user enter the value in degrees. So we see that for 5, 6, 7, and 8, the value is entered in the degree, and that particular value is stored in D, and then we convert that value into radians uh, using the A value which we have given, and then we store that result in temp, and the result is printed. Scale 2 is used to display 2 decimal points, and we use pipelining, so we get more complex answers to be displayed. We print the results for 5, 6, 7, 8 using the echo statement. For 9 and 10, we are supposed to find the power, so we use the operation symbol, this one, to make the power, and we use pipelining, so we can print the result of a complex operation. And the last one is to find the exponent. So power is exponent, so we have to enter the decimal values more than two, exactly 2 places. So we use scale is equal to 2, and we use pipelining also. E is the keyword that we use to print the exponent of that particular number, so we print that using the echo statement. Similarly, here for square root, we use the keyword sqrt, and for cosine we use the keyword c, sine s, and log we use the keyword l. So we'll run the program. uh, so we see that it displays scientific calculator and all the functions. We'll just go through them. Enter the value of b, so we get the sum. Similarly, we can find this subtraction, multiplication, and division. So we'll go to sine. It says to enter the degree value. We get the result as 0.80. Then we'll check the power. We get the answer to be 8 2 power 3. Then we'll check one more, that's the exponents. We get the exponent to be 7.38. I didn't do the subtraction, multiplication, division because they follow the same pattern as addition. That's it for the video. Thank you.